Welcome back to your soon-to-be favorite podcast. I'm Angelica.
And I'm Kelsey.
And this is
Here We Grow. All right, ready?
Ready, Freddy.
Are you ready? I don't hear myself. Hello?
Are you ready? Ready? $10 if you guess
Hello?
that song right.
I just realized what it was. Hi, guys.
You're not gonna take a guess? You don't want my $10?
SpongeBob?
Fine. What?
What did you say?
Are you ready? Ready?
You'll see how I would think that's SpongeBob.
I'm ready. That's what you're thinking about.
Ready.
He does not.
Yes, he does.
Okay, but I'm asking a question. You're confirming that you're ready. I'm asking, are you ready?
You're right.
Anyways, hello. This is a lost cause. That's why I'm like, I'm just going to drop it.
We're done. No.
You're done.
You're done. And if you know that reference, if you don't, you should find out what that reference is because it's good. Anyway, today we're doing an episode on values. Angelica has no idea what to expect out of this. She hasn't done any research. I sprung it on her at the last minute.
I was going to do research, but then I got home and then you wanted to go to Kilroy's today. So I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you came over.
But that's okay, because like sometimes when I come over and we start talking about the episode topic, I'll be like, okay, this is like kind of what I'm thinking where it's going to go. And then that conversation itself ends up being a good conversation. I'm like, wait, no, we have to stop. Save it for the podcast.
Shut up.
So I'm like, let me just explain it to you on the pod and then we'll go from there, because I think we'll be able to have a good conversation about it. And then if we have time at the end, we're going to play a little bit of 20 questions and we have a good quote of the week for you. So that is what you can expect from this episode. Let me find the quote of the week. I never have it ready when we start.
You always say that really quickly. Quote of the week.
Quote of the week.
Quote of the week.
Go find the
Quote
quote
of
of the week.
Quote of the week. Quote of the week.
Let me find the quote of the week.
Ask me about my wiener.
Ask me about the quote of the week. Okay, it's not going to be in photos. I'm going to go to my profile because it's a share.
You just said it.
I know, but it was a little bit down. Here it goes. Yeah. Okay. Hurt people hurt others, but luckily healed people heal others. Safe people shelter others. Free spirits free others, and enlightened people illuminate others.
Pew, 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 pew. Snaps.
I was just thinking, remember at the beginning of the podcast when we do the quote of the weekend and I get really close to the mic and I'd be like, healed people heal others.
I'm not gonna lie.
Say it like that.
I genuinely did not like that.
Oh, good, because I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But also we have different microphones now, so I couldn't really do that even if I wanted to. I feel like this needs to be tilted. Let me fix this really quick. Hello? Okay, that's better. All right, so
Happy Mental Health Awareness Month.
Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. That is the reason that we decided this episode, because we need to do something for mental health awareness. We don't have a whole lot on our topic list left regarding mental health awareness, I don't think. I don't know, I haven't looked at it in a while. But this can be related to mental health in the way of, if you don't have your values straight, or like you're worried about the wrong values, or you're worried about the values you think you should be worried about, that will severely affect your mental health. It will cause anxiety, it will cause depression, it will cause feelings of failure and feelings of inadequacy and all those things. And of course, those are all like just building blocks for bad mental health. And some days you have good days and some days you don't. And we're going to jump into that. So this idea comes from an episode of a different podcast that I listened to called Struggle Care. I've told you guys about this podcast before. If you haven't listened to it yet, you're missing out. She's a therapist. She talks to other therapists. She talks to other like creators on social media who have like good platforms and good points that they want to make about mental health and about life and parenting and all kinds of things. And the person she talked to, her name is Rachel Nielsen. She has her own podcast called 3 and 30. And she came onto Struggle Care to talk about values. And they specifically talked about values.
Whoa.
Values in the form of parenting. But this concept can be used throughout anybody's life, no matter if you're a parent or not. And basically, the core principle of this conversation is that you can't have all the values all the time, all at the same time. Okay? Have you seen any TikToks that are like a girl crying, and she's not really crying, but fake crying, and she's like, how am I supposed to eat healthy, drink enough water every day, have a great skincare routine, go to bed on time, get to work on time, do really great at my job, all these things all at once, all the time? Like, who has time for all of that, right? Mm-hmm. And that conversation is kind of the basis of this, which is like, you can't have all of those values all the time at every moment. You have to choose what's most important to you, what's a little important to you, and what's not important to you at all. And that's based off of your own decisions in your own life, not other people's lives, other people's decisions, society's shoulds of what you should think is valuable in your life or not.
That's funny you bring that up, because that reminds me of a quote. Like, when I used to have this mentality, or someone put this mentality in my head, of whenever I would see that, like people struggling, a quote that comes to mind is someone that I know said this, like, well, we all have the same 24 hours in the day. But we don't, though.
No, we don't.
We don't.
No, because you have to take into account equity. You have to take into account people who don't have the resources or the village, or, they might be working 2 jobs, whereas you're working 1, or they might have 4 kids, whereas you have none. Like, all of those things are factors. They might have a mental health disorder that prevents them from getting out of bed, or prevents them from being able to do housework. They might, all these things. Boland's just staring at us. It's like, what you guys talking about? It's kind of how he looks. He's trying, he wants to walk past, and he doesn't want to go under so he's going to go under the table instead. He just sat bare ass on my foot. So a good example of what I'm talking about, if we've lost you, is let me think of one that would be good to give an example of.
By the way, we're starting before 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because we need to go to Kilroy's after this.
It's so early.
So fuck you guys. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If you know Kilroy's food, you know Kilroy's food, okay?
I haven't had it in like a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
I devour.
Okay. Here was a good example. So, one value could be like adventure. Okay? That might be something that you really want to instill in your life, is adventure. And you may see, say, social media posts that say, like, you should value adventure in your life. You should be going out there and hiking and skydiving and climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and doing all these things. But to you, that might not be your value. Your value you may not find that value as important. You may say, like, well, I'd rather settle down and start a family. Like, I don't want to go out and adventure. I want to be a homemaker, or I want to have my 9 to 5 and come home to my kids and my husband every day. Like, and neither one is morally more correct. Mm-hmm. They are morally neutral. Mm-hmm. You decide which values are more attained to you. Mm-hmm. Also, another example would be, a lot of times in social media, you'll hear when a girl comes out of a really long relationship, the first thing she should do is have her hoe phase. Go out there and have fun. Go out there and have sex with as many guys as you want. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But then the girls who don't want to do that should not feel pressured to do that, because that's what society thinks you should do to, like, quote unquote heal.
Or make up for.
Exactly. And so it's like social media plays a big part in us deciding what our values are, but a lot of times
forming our values too. Yeah. Sometimes,
and a lot of times they're not even our values. They're not even values that we find important at all. Another example that they did on the podcast was the host of the show. She said, "I get a lot of slack for saying that I have sleep trained my kids. And if you don't know, sleep training is a very controversial topic in the parenting world. I personally did not sleep train Cash because I could not. The guilt got to me. And so some parents are able to like hunker down, get through it. You only have to do it for a little while. And then once you get past it, your kids sleep really well and you can put them to bed in their own bed and everything. And we did kind of a mixed version of that, but we didn't do one thing or the other. We tried different things, what worked for us, what didn't work for us. But what she's saying in that was, you know, I get a lot of slack for that, but one of the biggest values in my life is sleep. And I value sleep over so many other things, over what people think of me on the internet, over, and not only over anything, but she knew that valuing sleep at the top of her list and knowing that sleep training her kids would get her the sleep that she needed to be a good mom and to give her kids, you know, 90%. Whereas if she was up and down with them all night, not being able to get them in their bed, then she may only be giving them 40-50% of what she has. So it's kind of like fill your own cup first.
2 questions.
Yes.
What is sleep training?
So sleep training is kind of like the slang term, I guess you would say, like the like general term for it, but most people relate it to a method of sleep training, like the cry it out method, basically, where you put your child down in their bed as a baby and you let them cry until they fall asleep. You don't go in and check on them or anything. You just let them cry until they fall asleep. And the method is you do that so many days in a row that they eventually know that you're not coming and then they go to sleep. I don't personally believe in that method, but to each their own. If that's what you want to do.
Second question. Okay, these English idioms. Okay, cut me some slack. You want slack?
Yes. I think I used the wrong word actually.
You said people give. She said. You said that. She said.
People give me a lot of slack. What's the word?
Like, just shit for it, basically.
Yeah, shit. There is a word that's similar to slack, but...
Guys, the word is flack. F-L-A-C-K. Flack.
Yeah.
Slab?
No. People give me a slab of ribs
every time I talk
about...
you don't want that? Okay.
Good point, though. That you could point that out. That I fucked up an English idiom.
Well, I just wasn't sure. I'm like, people give you slack, but don't you want them to cut you some slack?
Cut you some slack. You're right. Okay, so I thought we could talk about some things that society thinks you should like hold as a high value, like most important, that maybe, you know, is okay that you don't or whatever. One thing that we've talked about on the podcast before is waking up early. That's a big one. That's one that's really, really, really like badly in social media right now. And I fear that a lot of people who have ADHD or people who are not neurotypical struggle with feeling like they're a failure if they can't get up early, and they constantly try to make themselves a person who gets up early to try to fit the societal standard of like, I'm a good person or I'm a productive person if I get up early. But how is it any different if you're productive at night?
See, so like me, my coworkers go in at 7:30. I go in at 8:30. But I stay an hour after everyone else.
Right.
So like,
same for me.
And I always get shit for coming in late. Like I'll walk in, like they'll be like, "Good afternoon," and I'm like, but I'm gonna stay later.
Right.
Like I'm making up my time.
I'm still making 8 hours just like you are.
I just can't fucking wake up on time.
Right.
But I stay. I have no issue with that.
Right. Yeah.
And if anything, I get more productive like around 4.
Yeah.
I really want to get my work done at 4.
And you're like, damn, it's almost time to leave.
I'm like, oh shit, I gotta hurry up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say like my most productive hours are in the evening, like after work, honestly, after the work hours. But yeah, I've never been the kind, it's kind of a struggle though, because you want to be the person who can go in early and get your workday over with early and be like the person who gets off at 2:00.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm not gonna.
Cannot do that. Dude, it really angers me sometimes. Like, I just don't understand why I can't just get up on time.
But see, you've made yourself feel like you're a failure for not being able to get up early. When, I mean, if you can go in at 8:30, then go in at 8:30. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
So tell your coworkers to fuck off. You tell them that getting up early is not morally better than getting up an hour later.
So apparently my comments have come off a little less witty and maybe a little bit more on the mean side, which I don't mean them to be mean. I'm not a mean person.
At work, you mean?
At work.
Mm-hmm.
And my coworker was like, okay, can we stop with the comments? And I'm like, oh, you can't. Okay. Did I take it too far?
Well, if you know Angelica, she's a very bantery person. And so, like, if we're going to joke, we're going to joke. Like, let's joke.
I literally said, I'm like, I thought we were joking. I thought you dish out and I dish out. Like, what's happening here? Did I take it? Like, what?
Yeah.
And she was like, can we just stop with the comments? And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Can you think of any values that are like that, where like society makes you believe that it's like morally better?
The first thing that comes to my mind is like traveling a lot.
Yes. Kind of like with adventure.
With adventure, yeah. Also, I saw my birth certificate, and my mom was 28, and I'm 28 now, and I just can't even fathom having a baby and a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I just cannot.
Your sister right now.
Yeah.
Your sister has a baby and almost 2-year-old. He'll be 2 in October.
She wild for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like having kids, having a family. But that's what I mean. Like, to me, it's like you have to travel before you start a family. Like right now is the only time, you can do that.
Right. But like, what if you don't really care? Like, okay, I'll go a couple places.
Or what if I want to travel with my partner
or with your family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my friends. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
She goes Jersey. She goes Jersey sometimes.
No, I was gonna say I sound like Pete Davidson just there. Yeah. Yeah.
He's coming. Did you know that? He's coming.
What? When?
He's coming to the old National Center, I think. Hold on, let me look it up.
I asked when, not where.
I know.
I'm just kidding. No.
I know.
What? PD Boy's coming?
Davidson.
BDE Peterson?
BDE. BDE.
I called him BDE Peterson.
Peterson.
I mean Davidson.
His last name's not Peterson.
You mean BDE Davidson?
He's coming to the Egyptian Room, not the Old National Center. Wait, that's the same thing, isn't it? The Egyptian Room at the Old National Center?
It's a room at the center.
Okay, I've never been there, so sorry. He's going to be in Gary, Indiana.
Ew. Why? Petey, why? Petey BDE Davidson, why?
Let's see how much tickets are in Gary.
These better be like $12. $60. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's really not bad. I'd see him.
In Gary, though? Drive all the way to Gary for that?
I'd You can beep that out.
I'd beep. I'd his beep. Or I'd beep his.
I was gonna say beep the.
Okay, back to what we were talking about.
So we're not going?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not. The $60 shit.
Alrighty.
And we have to pay gas again to go to Gary.
Yeah, maybe not. It's Gary. It's scary.
It's scary. It's scary.
Scary Gary.
Which value are we talking about?
Traveling and having kids before you travel, and traveling with your family or friends or significant other.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
God. Let's see. Any values that society tells you must have?
Oh, I have another one. I just didn't know if you had more to add to that one.
Go ahead.
Faith.
Explain.
Some people put faith so high on their value list that they feel they're even responsible for other people's faith.
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
If they don't, quote unquote, correct other people's faith, then they'll go to hell, or the people who they're trying to correct will go to hell, or whatever. And I think for me, in that sense, that I have a little bit of faith in the universe or whatever, but it's not the top of my priority list.
Mm-hmm.
My priorities are just like being kind to other people and living a good, kind life on this earth. And then whatever happens, happens. Like, I don't have control over that, obviously.
And no one knows.
And no one knows. Exactly. So why spend your whole life fighting for something that you don't even know for sure will happen?
Well, I'm okay if someone has that mentality, but
Right.
going back to how you said, like, they feel like it's their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or that society thinks that should be your highest value is your faith.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think that's true. It doesn't have to be your highest value.
I had someone tell me that it's my responsibility to ensure that my partner goes to heaven.
Yeah, why?
I know.
We're two separate people.
Can't I just, like, watch out for myself?
Right.
I don't know what they're doing behind my back.
Like, but that goes into codependency and like trying to control what your partner does. Like, that's not your responsibility. If your partner doesn't want to be a good person, then they're not a good person. Like, you can't control that. You're not responsible for that.
Or to have some religion. What, like, be whatever religion you want to be, but you have to be a religion. Like, what is it, agnostic? Is that the one that's nothing?
Atheist is nothing.
I almost said diagnostic. Atheist is what's agnostic?
Agnostic is like you believe in something, but you don't believe in like God per se.
Oh, atheist.
Like you don't believe in God, the devil, nothing.
I feel like society thinks of people who are atheists as having no morals.
Good point.
Yeah.
Like they have no values, no morals, no ethics.
Just nothing.
They're just not a good person at all.
Yeah.
And that's
not
never been the case for anyone that I know is atheist.
Yeah.
I would say I know like at least 5 people off the top of my head that are atheist, and they're some of the best people that I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over like, people who have a very high faith.
I feel like you're saying like not letting it dictate your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one would be like college education, right? And I think in society it's changing a little bit now, like especially the generation that's going to college now. For instance, one of my coworkers, her daughter, or actually my boss, her daughter, she's like in her senior year of high school, and she's having a really hard time with the pressures of like exams and AP classes, and if she's going to get into this college, and if she's not going to get into this college, and if she doesn't score this, she's not going to get into that college, and she's not going to be able to become a nurse or whatever. And I had said to my boss, I feel like there's a piece of hair. I had said to my boss, I feel like she's putting a little bit too much emphasis on what she should be doing and not focusing on what she wants to be doing. Because too many of us focus so much on what we should be doing that we went directly into a career that we didn't want, an education we didn't want, an education we thought we wanted, but we turned out that we didn't want because we didn't actually know ourselves. We didn't actually ask ourselves what we wanted to do. We asked ourselves what we should be doing. What would look like a good career on me? Instead of what will I be happy doing every day of my life? And so that is a really big one, because I think now in society, like, it's changing. People are saying, like, if you don't want a college degree, or if a college degree is not going to serve you, then don't get one. Don't get one just because society thinks you should have one. Go get a technical degree or technical certificate, or get into a job field where you can work from the bottom to the top. And the experience that you will have had from the bottom to the top over a college degree sometimes is better. It just depends on that situation, that degree, that job field. And so I think that's a huge one. It's like we are conditioned, or at least our generation was conditioned, that like you have to go to college and get a degree or you're going to be broke for the rest of your life.
I definitely had that mentality.
And like I've said before in the podcast, that I wish I would have been more encouraged to learn about myself and what I like, because by now I would have actually been in a career that I love. And I mean, not that I don't love my job now, but I would be in the career that I know that I would love and would enjoy going to work every day and, you know, helping people and stuff like that. But as teenagers, we're not encouraged to find out about ourselves and what we're going to like. They're just like, oh, your number turned 18, $60,000 in debt, $120,000 in debt. For what? For a degree you hate and a career field that you hate, that you thought society thought would look good on you? Nah.
Nah. That reminds me, I knew this one girl who broke up with her boyfriend right after they graduated high school because she said, if you don't go to college, I'm breaking up with you. And he ended up deciding not to, and she broke up with him. And I remember thinking, like, wow, like, that's crazy. Like, didn't you love this man? Is it not, like, ride or die forever? Like, you hold having a college degree so high that, like, you were just willing to cut this guy off. Like, that's crazy.
Well, and that man could have been, like, the best partner for you, like the best match for you, and you wouldn't have even known it because a piece of paper, like, ruled that decision for you.
Yeah, and I think also, too, kind of just, like, society's kind of shifting, too, where we put more importance in trade school now, too, and, like, you said technicians, or technical...
technical certificates.
Yeah.
But have you seen the memes that are like, okay, we know you want to be a rapper, but we need electricians.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, we probably do need electricians. We need plumbers. We need HVAC technicians. But
also, I think about it this way. I don't believe... Okay, so, like, I agree with what you're saying, how, like, taking some time to find out what you love and what you want to do every day. But I don't think it's always that simple. I don't think what you love every day is going to be what's going to be making money.
True.
So for me, for example, I already had it in my head, like, I need to get a college degree. Well, first of all, because my parents are immigrants and that's what they came here for. And that's, like, my repayment to them. But in my head is I need to somehow fund what excites me, what I love. And that's the way to do it. It's not necessarily like, I need this degree because society's telling me to get this degree. I'm doing it so that I can do what I love.
Right. But that's good. That's good that you can differentiate those things.
Yeah. But other people cannot.
Right.
Or they get so sucked into corporate America that they just kill off all their dreams or any kind of creativity or any kind of hobby or whatever.
Right. Well, and it's like, you know, people who are sucked into corporate America say that are working to, like, these big executive positions. It's like, sometimes you look at them and you feel sad for them because you're like, where's the bigger picture of your life? Like, is your whole life being an executive at this company? And, like, sure, we need executives at companies, but if it consumes your entire life and that's the only thing that's important to you is making it to the next level up in that company, then, like, where's your enjoyment out of life? Where's your hobbies and your passion and your relationships at? Are they good?
Yeah. Do you have free time to hang out with your friends and family?
Right. Are you funding the things that you love, or are you not?
Are you doing it because you want to or because society said you should?
Yeah. Something that's a little bit connected to that would be pride. I know some people, I'll just say who it is. My aunt. I feel like my aunt, her pride gets in her way a lot. And I've seen it in other people in the way of, like, I'm too proud to ask for help, or I'm too proud to admit that I'm vulnerable, or I'm too proud to admit that I have flaws. And so then it keeps you from having deep connections with other people. It keeps you from
being relatable.
It keeps you from being able to ask people for help and invite people in to be your village if you have that availability. And so I think pride is one of them, where you have to decide where on your list of values is it most important, kind of important, or, like, not really important to you at all. Like,
I was gonna say, I think people put, maybe not necessarily pride, but they put too much value in what will others think of me.
Yes. You're right. So then it's more like not pride, then what is it?
Like, either I don't want to seem weak. I don't want others to worry about me. I don't want others to think that I can't handle it.
So it's more like your image then.
Yeah, like your image, I guess, like your reputation, or I know, like, my parents have this, like, old mentality of, like, what will the people think?
Yeah.
Small town mentality. People talk, people gossip, people love to bask in other people's misery. Like, because they want to know that someone else is doing worse than them.
Well, in that instance, your mindset should kind of be like, when you catch yourself like, what will other people think? You have to say to yourself, like, if they think badly, then fuck them. Like, they're not for me then. Then I don't want them in my life if they think badly about me having the XYZ. Because that's what makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did we make sense? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to
Y'all let us
listen
know.
back and, and see.
We're either going to be like, that episode was a banger, or fuck, I don't know.
You know, it's funny because, like, I think going back to relating with people, I like to, when someone opens up to me, I like to open up to them, or vice versa. I'm an open book, so I'll open up to anybody. But you know what I mean? Like, I remember this one incident where my friend told me something really, like, private about her life. And I literally said to her, you know, you shared this with me, I'm going to share this with you. And she told me, nope, I don't want to hear it. She pretty much told me, like, her burden was heavy enough. And she didn't know.
And you thought what you were doing was making her feel more comfortable by, like, sharing something deep about yourself. And she was like, nope, I've got enough going on. Let me trauma dump on you and let me just leave me alone.
Yeah, my initial reaction was offended, but then I was like, you know what? She's got a lot. So, like,
she doesn't have any more load to carry.
She doesn't want any more burdens.
No. That's so funny.
I think about that from time to time.
Yep.
It's just, nope, don't tell me. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, okay, well then, fuck me then.
All right.
Another one that kind of goes into that a little bit is vulnerability. So, like, we have said on the podcast before, like, we value vulnerability very high on the list. Like, anybody that's in our life, we want them to be, if not 100% vulnerable with us, pretty close to that.
Yeah, but a lot of people equate vulnerability to weakness.
Right.
Or weak.
Right. I think society still does.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a little bit better at it, but society still views vulnerability as weakness. But as we've said before multiple times, vulnerability makes you more relatable to other people. So then you're able to build deep connections.
Mm-hmm.
If you are struggling to have a deep connection with someone, ask yourself, are you being vulnerable enough? If not, then no.
Yeah, if you're just having, like, surface level conversations or these surface level friendships, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And if you can listen to this podcast and all the deep conversations we have, then you can go and have those same conversations with the people that are in your life.
Oh, we get deeper. Like, we just don't hit record.
Yeah. We've got much deeper.
We get into it.
Yeah. I mean, we have people ask us to therapize them. So, I mean, we'll do it, but...
And how you hear us on the podcast is how we are in real life.
Yeah, we really do talk like this. Like, earlier we were talking about the Pacers player or the Bucks player that got suspended, and I was like, oh wow, what happened to your play here? And you're like, yeah, I think it's too heavy, I think I need to repot it. Like, we just changed
Move
topic
on.
so quickly. I'm like, yep, this is us. Let's see if I can find something else on this list.
Oh, you have a whole list.
Okay, let me talk about this list, and then we'll get back into some more values. So the woman I was talking about, Rachel Nielsen, she has on her website, which is 30in30podcast.com/values. She has a exercise but there's an exercise you can do where you answer a couple of questions about your life.
Can you just send that to me so I can also look at it?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Can you just send that to me so I can, like, also look at it?
I would also like to look at this list, so that'd be great if you could just send it to me, please. Thank you.
So another one on here is tradition. Like, I would like to build our own traditions. Like, that's a high value for me.
Mm-hmm.
Wholeheartedness is on here. Vulnerability. I would really love for our family to value vulnerability, just like I value just like I value that with my friends.
Courageous, to have a moral compass,
Mm-hmm.
to have dignity.
Yep.
Ethics.
All right, let's go to the next question because we're just gonna name all the ones we like. Who is someone?
Harmony.
Harmony. She's talking about singing, guys.
No.
Who is someone you deeply admire and why?
I deeply admire you.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks.
You got your head on straight.
Thank you.
Not gay like the rest of us. Wait.
I just want you to know Angelica did not just come out of the closet. That was just a joke.
Hang on. Cut this out, Kelsey. Something I always say is like, yeah, she got a head on her shoulders every has a head. Well, it's on their neck, but everyone has. You mean good head on their shoulders?
Yes.
Dumbass.
She has a head on their shoulders.
Stupid dumbass.
You could have said someone used to say. You didn't have to say.
No, well,
I can bleep his name.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty funny.
Okay. You got your head on straight.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I would say I admire you as well. And that's why we're best friends.
no, but for real, like, I think you've said on the podcast too, like, ever since becoming a mom, your mindset has completely changed.
Yeah.
And I think obviously no one has a handbook to parenting, but I think because you became a parent, you just you have these like exercises in your head or these ideas in your head that I never would have thought about. When it comes to cash, when it comes to your friends and family. I'm just like, where do you come up with this?
Yeah, I don't know where I come up with it, but like I know what you mean, because to me it's like the ideas in my head that you're referencing are kind of like
Well, can I say something else?
yes.
Okay, so like you yourself, you could just go based off the knowledge that you currently have. You could do that, but you don't. You always try to seek out more knowledge and like think outside the box and like educate yourself to the best of your ability and expand yourself and grow. And like it doesn't have to be this way. It could also be this way.
Yeah, like duality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the ideas that you were talking about, to me, I'm just going to use the word pillars. So they're like, those ideas are like pillars, and there's like an unlimited amount, right? There doesn't need to be like 5 or 10 pillars. Like, I'm not talking about like philosophy or anything, but those pillars, I think, when someone is talking to me about something, my mind automatically grabs what they're talking about and connects it to this pillar that I already have information on.
Well, you're a problem solver too.
Yes, that to a fault. I am a problem
fault.
solver. Being a problem solver makes me a people pleaser because I always want to solve people's problems. It also makes me sometimes unable to just listen to venting because I'm like, I got a solution.
Shut up right now. I got it. This is what we're going to do.
Right. And then even like I find myself, not as much anymore, but like with my friends in the past where I'm like the answer is clear. Like, this is the answer to your problem, but they don't go down that path and they just keep continuing whatever cycle they're in. I'm like, the answer is so clear. But to them, you know, they have to get through the cycle maybe one more time before they're ready to come out of the cycle. And I understand that now. But previously, I would not have understood that because...
Well, yeah. I mean, as a friend too, you become frustrated and you're like, oh my God, like, why doesn't she just do this? If she just did this and then this would all be better. But,
yeah,
you know, you have empathy and you understand and you're... Yeah.
So now on why I value you.
Oh, right.
People are going to be like, get a room. I mean, I've said this on the podcast before and I'll say it again. And I actually said it in your wedding vows, I think. Like, I see you...
Ew. Sorry.
I see you as like... By the way, your wedding vow... Or not your wedding vows. Your wedding speech is what I meant. I said this in your wedding vows.
I was like, okay.
The speech that I made at your wedding was mostly about you. Like...
It really was.
But...
Save it for next one.
Right. Just rewrite it.
Just change the name.
Mm-hmm. Altruistic means having or showing an unselfish concern for the welfare of others or being unselfishly devoted to it. It is an important moral value in many cultures and religions and is often considered a synonym of selflessness.
Oh.
So something I said before is like, and this is a good measure of a good person, is when someone never wishes badly upon other people. And that's you. Like, you don't wish badly upon other people. Maybe you might have a thought here or there, but you don't actually wish bad upon people.
No.
Even people who have done you wrong, even people who have shat on you, you still don't wish badly upon them. And that goes to show that you're a good person. I think you struggle with knowing that you're a good person sometimes, but just remember that, like, and the other day you were saying that a friend was describing another friend that way. And I was like, oh, that's funny because that's exactly how I describe you to other people. Like, the kindest person I know, never wants badly for other people, like there for you when you need her. Like that, I mean, what more could you want?
You know I gotta tell you another thing, but hang on. What's funny is that when I said that I didn't think I deserved good things, or when I thought I wasn't a good person,
Mm-hmm.
I was still in my marriage. But now that I've gotten out of my marriage and how much grace I've given this person, I now genuinely am starting to believe that I am a good person and I do deserve good things.
Not only that, not only because you've given that person grace, but because you don't have that person's voice in your head telling you you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when, before we started recording, I said, I've been wanting to ask you, whose voice is it that tells you, like, I don't deserve, like, good love or healthy love? And I thought, you know, maybe it's your ex-partner because they wanted you stuck in the toxic love that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, because it benefited them.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right.
So,
and second,
that was a really long tangent about something. Go ahead.
We're still on question number 2.
And another tangent, number 2 tangent. All right, let's go on to the next question.
Wow.
This is going to be a banger.
I hope so.
If it's opening up side conversations that we're like,
Damn.
that we can't even put on the podcast,
Damn.
it's obviously a good episode.
Damn.
Okay. What did you love doing as a child? Like, what's your best childhood memories?
Not paying bills.
I've said before that family vacations was like one of my best childhood memories. And summer camp.
Summer camp.
So I think I would want both of those for cash.
I loved going to Hot Topic. I loved laying on the grass and just listening to music.
Yep.
I loved playing card games with my friends.
Yep. I think you need... yeah, all of those
Quality
things.
time.
Quality time, yeah, definitely. And that it encompasses family vacations and summer camp too.
Well, that goes to show, well, not goes to show because I mean it's just 2 of us, but I feel like a lot of people want to spoil their kids with stuff, with things, thinking that that's what they're gonna long for or want, or maybe they grew up with nothing. Yeah, I don't.
No.
Quality time is what I remember.
Well, and it's not even that we grew up with absolutely nothing. Like, I mean, like, I grew up with material things. We weren't rich, but I had material things. But still, the things that I remember as a kid that were like my favorite part were the quality time at summer camp and the quality time at family vacations.
Yeah, I meant like people who take the extreme way of like, I grew up with nothing, so I'm gonna give my kid everything, and it's like, well, that's not what they're gonna want. They're gonna want your time.
To say that.
Yeah, he would say, whatever, just beep it out. He would say like, oh yeah, when I have kids, I'm gonna work my ass off to give them everything I never had. Well, what they really would want is your time.
Right. It's for you to be there after work at 5 o'clock every day.
Right. And for their mom not to be stressed 'cause I'm the only parent.
Right. Absolutely. What is it easy or easier for you to spend money on without regret?
Experiences like concerts, food if I'm going out with a friend.
Yeah, food is a big one because I value food as a way to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've said that on the podcast before. Like, I like feeding my people, but also, like, if we're going out for food, also, we will connect over food, which is what we're going to do after we finish recording.
Yeah. Stuff
food.
for my mom. Not stuff, but, like, things that I know she'd like.
Something that has stuck with me for a long time was, like, when I was, like, early 20s, broke all the time, I would, like, talk to my aunt about it, and she would say, you know, if you overspend a little bit at the grocery store, like, don't feel guilty about that. You're feeding yourself. Like, you can feel guilty about buying something at the gas station. You can feel guilty about, you know, buying a shirt at the store or whatever. But don't ever feel guilty about buying groceries for yourself. Like, if it ends up coming out of bill money, you have to make up for it later, fine, do that. But don't feel guilty about it because you're feeding yourself.
Amen.
That's the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's a good little connection there. What is it easy for you to spend time on without regret? Before we get to that question, let's go back. I'm just going to cut that part out and I'll ask it again. Another thing that I would like to add to the food conversation of like valuing food within your family is like some of your best memories may be eating with your family. I know like almost all of your family gatherings is something with food. And I think that's pretty prominent in Hispanic culture.
Mm-hmm. Carne asada,
Yeah.
tamales,
Mm.
pozole.
Mm.
Brings everyone together.
Talk dirty to me. No. It brings everyone.
Carne
It brings
asada.
everyone from all the nooks and crannies together. I think having food as a value in your family is like, you know, using food as a comfort for people who need comfort, using, you know, sitting around the table as quality time. Like, so many things can be connected to food for that value.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is, what is it easy for you to spend time on without regret?
Spending time with my niece and nephew.
I would say with family. That's
Mhm.
just obviously general terms.
Spend time on and not feel guilty.
The podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I've said
Mhm.
before that, like, coming to do the podcast, sometimes I feel guilty leaving the house, but it's what drives me every day. It's what I look forward to every week. Like, it's what it gives me my creative outlet that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You know that drive from work to home?
uh-huh.
That's time I don't feel guilty about spending.
From work to home, not from home to work.
Hell no.
Did you notice we passed each other again on the way to work the other day?
We did.
I waved at you. You
I
did.
didn't
I didn't
see.
honk this time, so I'll try not to be so white.
Yeah, you did honk at me.
Yeah,
You went. You like waved your hand
and then
up in the air.
and then I texted her and I was like, "That was the whitest thing I've ever done." She was like, "Yep, kind of was." Next time I'm just gonna roll down the window and be like waving out the window. No, but
I'm so dead on the way to work. Like, I don't notice shit.
ever since I got the Jeep fixed, I can take the interstate to work, so I'm taking that road, and that's why we're passing each other now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Previously, I would have gone north up Raceway, and we would have maybe seen each other at the light, but that's a
Mm.
much shorter time period. But yeah, I'm going up Crawfordsville Road at about 8:30, which means you're late for work.
Yep. Yeah, it's slowly starting to creep into closer to 9,
Mhm.
which is really bad. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta keep it as close to 8. Like, if I'm gonna be quote unquote late, I gotta keep it as close to 8:30 as possible.
Yeah.
But I just can't sometimes.
I'm gonna cut this out, but on Monday, when I know it was getting close to time, I just saw your location that you were at home, and I texted you, "Don't be late."
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, she's at home. She's probably redoing her makeup or
No,
some shit.
no.
I'm like,
I didn't do my
she's
makeup
gonna
at
be
all.
late.
I didn't do my hair. I didn't do my makeup. Nothing. However, I did come home, and I was playing with Bolin, and then I got a little too late, and then I couldn't figure out what to wear because it's court. You got to look presentable, which people don't.
People just go to court in anything.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know.
I could see going to traffic court in anything, but
Oh no, people don't care. But I wanted to look, somewhat presentable for court, and then I realized that all my quote unquote presentable clothes are sweaters, and it was hot that day.
Mhm.
So I was like, God damn it. And then that made me late. I saw your text message and I was like, doesn't she know that I can manage my time? This is important. And then I ended up being late.
You should have questioned yourself. Doesn't she know I know how to manage my time? And they go, no, actually, she knows I can't manage my time.
Actually, she's right. I gotta go.
And then you weren't late.
but
Maybe my text helped you.
It's funny because my mom would always be like, it's 6:55. And I'm like, I know, Mom. I have a watch. I have a phone that tells me, but I'm still late.
It's funny that your mom bitches at you about it, and she's the most late person. She's later than you to most things.
Time is a consideration
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
It's a suggestion.
A suggestion, yeah. Remember for Maria's birthday party, I had to come late because I was waiting on Travis to get home from his
Yeah.
mom's. And you were messaging me, Maria was messaging me, and then even Anthony was messaging me. And I was on my way to Maria's house, like, almost like mad. I'm like, these bitches show up an hour to an hour and a half late to my gatherings all the time. And they're over here texting me like, where are you at? Girl, I'm where you at when you wait to come to my fucking gathering.
To be fair, we come from another gathering sometimes to go to your gatherings. So that's not fair.
That's
Go
true.
figure.
Sometimes you're just coming from home, though, and like you're showering when you're supposed to be there.
Right, whatever.
It's, let me tell y'all, it's
Maria's
the shower.
bad.
It's the shower.
It is the shower. However, my mom's the worst. She's the queen of being late. Then
Mhm.
it's Maria, and
Yeah.
then it's me.
I would agree.
However, sometimes Maria, my sister,
Those are the same person.
however, sometimes
You have one person, she is Maria.
positive or good. Maria and my mom kind of switch sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, Maria's really bad. Maria will like
Actually, no, I think Maria might be the worst.
Maria will like lay in bed, and then 15 minutes past the time she was supposed to be there, she'll be like, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I'm about to get in the shower." It's like,
No, it's the shower.
okay,
Like you said.
yeah, it's the
No,
shower for all three of you.
No. Maria takes hour-long showers.
She does, but she also waits till the last minute to get in the shower.
I wait till the last minute to get in the shower, but I don't take hour-long showers. I think that's the difference between her and I.
I see.
What is she doing for an hour in the shower?
I think she has a all or nothing mentality with some
What do you
things.
do? What is it?
What is it? I think she has. We're on such a large tangent. I think she has an all or nothing mentality when it comes to showers. So she's
Oh,
what?
go ahead.
So she like won't shower at all, or if she does get in the shower, she has to make it worth it. So then she does every single thing.
I thought you were going to say because she doesn't shower often. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't
Sorry,
shower
Maria.
often. I don't care. Maria don't care if we say that either.
Ooh, speaking of Maria.
We're gonna have Maria on the podcast next week.
Woohoo! So exciting.
What is my voice?
I don't know. That was
doing?
Alvin the Chipmunks.
I've never gone to that high of an octave. Okay, that was quite the tangent.
What's the next
The
question?
next question? What's the next question?
Wouldn't it be nice?
What is it?
Maria, why do you take an hour-long shower?
Yeah, that's the next question. That one's not relevant. Do you see anything with your answers? No, it's just asking about a theme with your answers. So,
ancestors.
so it's like, do you see any theme with the answers that we've had? And yes, there is a theme.
Yeah.
It's quality time, like you said,
Mhm.
kindness, quality time, and just being with your loved ones
Present.
over money, degrees, quote unquote success, blah blah
Ow,
blah.
Bolin.
So yeah, that makes sense. I will post the link to this exercise in the show notes if you'd like to do the exercise, and then both of us will do it and post our answers when we release the episode posting topic post episode. What the fuck is the word?
I don't know.
Wait, you said oh because you remembered something, and then you said oh like oh she's having trouble.
I was like, oh.
Go ahead.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day.
And which means it's coming up on a year since I've pricked my finger and got that nasty thing. However, when I got my new roses this past weekend, same thing.
You did it again?
Yeah, on my thumb.
Girl, wear some gloves to go get roses. Yeah.
Why the fuck do roses have thorns in the store? Also, Kroger, fuck you, because normally a dozen roses is $12, but I love how you upped it to $15 for Mother's Day. That's shitty.
Is it because they were multicolored though? Like usually like
No,
a dozen
they're-
red roses.
Dozen roses, $12. $15 for Mother's Day.
I do know that like some places
I love you, Kroger. I will still go, obviously.
some places will take the thorns out and some don't. So maybe you just need to buy them from somewhere else.
I think, and because it happened around Mother's Day, and I've been buying myself flowers pretty consistently. I think around Mother's Day they just don't do it.
Oh, because there's just like too much
There's
volume.
so many, yeah. There's
That
so
makes
much
sense.
volume that they just
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Because other times the thorns are off,
Mm-hmm.
and Bolin just fell onto my ankle, and that shit fucking hurt. Oh, now you get a motherfucker.
Okay, another value that I want to bring up is friendship, since we were kind of on that topic anyway.
Friendship.
I think
Francesca, is that a good name or not? Okay. The silence.
we give
was
them time to answer.
deafening.
you already know my feelings about that word. That word.
That name.
You already know my feelings about
You
that word.
Really just offended my future daughter's
So sorry.
future daughter's name. Future
I'll
daughter.
love it if there's a person to attach it to.
Right.
Duh. Well, it's like when I named Cash, I'm like, when we call his name, we're not going to be thinking about money. We're
Yeah.
going to be thinking that his name is Cash.
Right,
Like that's
right.
him. That's his name.
That's him.
It's him.
Him.
He is him.
him. It's him.
What was I saying? Oh, valuing friendship.
Yes.
So something that I think
I'm so hungry.
Me too. Let's hurry up.
Let's hurry up.
How much have we?
Oh, it's an hour.
We did good.
Last time I checked, it was 30 minutes. We really went on a tangent there.
We really did. You guys will like the tangents, though.
And that's
so
why it's called Ladies and Tangents. I'm just kidding.
That's why it's called Kelsey and Angelica and Tangents. Okay, valuing friendship, and then we're going to end it.
Here we grow tangents.
Here we grow tangents.
No, here we grow tangents.
Yes, like the Pacers slogan.
Here we grow basketball.
Yeah, we grow basketball. Don't rub your makeup off. Okay, friendship values. I feel like some older generations don't really understand the generations now and future, how they value friendships over sometimes familial relationships. And something I said to Travis recently was like, you know, this is like maybe months and months ago. Like, yeah, I know I'm investing a lot of time in a couple of my friendships right now, but I need to nurture those relationships because they're my village. Like, and they're going to be my village for until we're old. Like, you know, when your friends are going to be the friends that are going to be your friends until you're old. And so you have to nurture those relationships in addition to your family's relationships or whatever other relationships that you find valuable, because, you know, those are going to be the people that are in your life that you're going to lean on when a family member dies, or when you need help with your kids, or, you know, when you go through some like tragedy of like your house burning down or whatever. Like, your friends are going to be the ones that are stepping up saying, come stay at my house, here's some clothes, start a meal train for you. You know, those are the people who are there for you. And I think that some older generations, they came from the type of friendships that were very gossipy and very only in it for the gossip and the entertainment, and not truly in it for a valuable friendship and a deep connection with another person that you can tell anything to. And that must have been such a lonely way to be. What do you think about that?
I actually just thought of something.
Okay.
I think that maybe our parents' generation, or even the generation before that, I was just thinking, like, with Brian's episode, he talked about, where do you meet your friends? Where do you make friends at?
Yeah.
So if, like, our parents were maybe stay-at-home moms, for example, they didn't have that chance to socialize and make those friends, or stay-at-home dads, I lost my train of thought.
Where do you meet your friends?
Yeah. But maybe that's what, not necessarily that they didn't value their friendships, but they almost couldn't get past the surface level friendships.
Yeah. Like, they didn't have the opportunity to get past surface
Yeah.
level. Not that they didn't want to.
Yeah. I do agree that there are some that didn't want to, or like you're saying, it was based off of gossip or entertainment versus like being there for each other. I don't know. That's just a thought.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Like, some of them may not have had the opportunity to get to a deep conversation or relationship with someone. And furthermore, we've said just on this podcast episode alone that vulnerability is becoming more acceptable now. So back then, vulnerability wasn't acceptable. It was seen as weakness.
They wouldn't go around saying like, oh yeah, Bob lost his job and I had to pick up extra shifts at the hospital. And
they'd be fearing what that person would think of them.
Yeah.
And it was seen as a weakness to be like, I don't know what I'm going to do or whatever. Like, the agony that comes with it, they would not be able to show that vulnerability.
Well, I think social media and just the internet in itself actually like busted that bitch wide open to talk about, like, people talking about what they're going through.
Right.
Like, the very first influencers just going about their lives and just spilling, quote unquote, the beans or whatever, just like saying it all out there. It's like, wow, I feel seen. I feel heard. That's what I do. I can relate to that.
Yeah, well, and all the bad things that we can say about social media, that is really one huge good thing, that it's changing society in a good way. Some ways it's changing society in a good way of being able to connect people and make people relatable to other people and say, like, you're not alone. Like, I do this too. Or like, one thing that for me has been really mind-blowing in that sense in the last few years is like, mom, so I won't even say influencers, social media people who have a lot of following, who are moms, and they're like, yeah, I just didn't clean my living room for like 3 days and now it's a mess, so watch me clean it. And it's like, okay, that's relatable. Like, that's vulnerable and relatable because you showed me your vulnerable messy living room And now I don't feel so alone for having a messy living room. So, sorry, I just
No.
choked.
No.
Bolin, we're almost done. Anyways, I think that was a really good conversation, and that was straight off the dome for the whole hour, y'all.
Straight off the dome.
Straight off the dome. And now we're gonna go have some bomb ass food. Sorry you ain't getting none.
Happy Mother's Day
Happy Mother's
to
Day.
all the mothers, pregnant, not pregnant, suffered a miscarriage, adoptive mothers, everybody.
Everyone wishing that their mom was still here. Everyone missing their mom. Everyone missing their mom that's still alive but doesn't have a good relationship with their mom. Anyone who can relate in that way, happy Mother's Day to you. All right, guys.
Okay, bye.
See you next week.